guess we're good to go. Got to make sure we stay on target. All right, well, y'all go ahead, and if you want me to go ahead and call the meeting to order and welcome everybody. We appreciate all of you guys that are joining us to take the time again to try to finish our job of getting the ratings done for all of the projects. Looks like you've been able to get a lot of information from all of the members, and so it's good that we have it and we can make good decisions today. So I'm going to go into the opening statement that we need to go through. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the public meeting of the Capital Improvement Program Subcommittee. I'm Earl Garber, representing Acadia Parish, and will lead the meeting today. Agendas were made available online at planacadiana.org, as well as the email distribution list. The purpose of the public meeting is to consider items established by the agenda. Public input is welcome on these items. However, to ensure an orderly meeting, members of the public shall speak at the time designated. Please submit your comments and questions. In this case, this is a virtual call, so be in the chat box of those that are attending. Comments, questions will be addressed during the public comment period. File records to reflect your attendance and comments. Please add your name and affiliation in the chat box so that we can, you can have a good record of it. During the public comment period towards the end of the meeting, please keep to the matter in hand and be brief, with time limitations may be imposed by the chair if necessary. Before commenting, please state your name, your address, and your affiliation. So I thank everybody again for being here, and let's do a roll call. We'll see where we're at.
Okay, thank you, Earl. Okay, Earl Garber.
If present.
Jacob Coco.
Here.
Thank you, Jacob. Chester Granger.
Here.
Okay, thank you. John Clark.
Present.
Okay, thank you. Jessica Corney. I know Jessica gave me some of her ratings before. Maybe she can't make it today. Okay, Mark Ward. Tim Mott. And Keith Roy.
Here.
Yes, we have a quorum.
All right.
And I'd like to acknowledge our two other regional steering committee members. We have Matt Johns and Terry Freelo.
Very good. Appreciate you guys taking some time. All right. We have to go through our normal motion of approving our action summary. You should have it in your packet for this morning. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion and a second to approve the action summary from our July 20th meeting.
I move. Keith Roy.
I'll
Keith,
second it, Jacob.
second by Jacob. All right, any discussion or recommended comments in relation to how we have it recorded? Hearing none, I'll go ahead and call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposition, any opposition also signify by saying aye. Hearing none, the action motion passes. So, all right, Kelia, the HMGP update.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind you guys, I know last time so that we now have a September 15th due date. We need a scope and a cost estimate. And looking at the Acadiana Watershed District legislation, as I've been making a lot of calls to your police jury presidents and parish government presidents, that a hazard regional mitigation plan is something that was written, the potential to have for the legislation, because again, that would allow us to get direct funds, from FEMA or GOSEP, and just help overall, I guess, some regions or parishes that maybe they need more supplementation to their hazard mitigation plan. So we'll be discussing this more probably as a joint committee or Acadiana Watershed District. And if you have any comments or thoughts, please contact me about that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I want to encourage all the members to try to reach out to their police jury, because August 31st is coming up very quickly. And the jurors, I know they're meeting. I was able to get to my group on Tuesday and got approval to participate. So hopefully all of y'all and Kelia, I hope we're letting the main committee, members know that this has to be done. That's a pretty short fuse to at least get approval.
Yes, and I think I'm trying to, kind of be ahead of the game for the Acadiana Watershed District. I think technically everything needs to be done by January
By
1st.
the end of the year, yeah.
Correct. But we have 16 parishes, and I'd like to present to those parishes, again, parish governments, councils, police juries, about the Acadiana Watershed District, and to I'm working on a draft ordinance and to adopt that ordinance. So I'll be following up either tomorrow or definitely by Monday as well from those who I haven't heard from.
Deal. I got a positive reception from Acadia jury. They were very pleased to see that we now have a regional body that's going to be in place, and they feel like the time that's been spent is worth it. So I hope all of you guys have the same response from your jury.
Yes, very good. Thank you.
All right, regional pre-application and project ratings. I believe that's what we're here for, right, Kelia?
Yes, so you should have received your packets. We got a couple of extra project answers this morning. And I hope this makes sense. What I have on screen, and that's in your agenda packet, was basically what the subcommittee came up with to help rate the projects. Now, we had 3 sections. We wanted to give it some kind of numerical, I guess, value. So we had 3 points per section, but it kind of per section, I think you're looking at the majority of positives. And then, like for this instance, if everything was positive, it'd rate high. But we had 0 to 1 is low, 2 to 3 is medium, and 4 to 5 is high from our questions. And then the way I understand it, please interrupt me if anyone sees it differently. Our second phase, we're looking at multi-jurisdictional benefits. And that was on like the project fact sheet or application, if it benefited, more than one municipality or a parish, or even went into another watershed region, then I think we gave them like 1 point. And I believe before we adjourned last Thursday, we were looking at maybe a third phase, like at population benefited. But there was, I think, a discrepancy, or different project applicants had a different definition or answer for population benefited for the project. So again, I'm not sure if y'all want to continue with that third phase population or continue as is. But hopefully this makes sense. This is the way I understand it.
So Kelia, let's step back a little bit. Your rating, the 333, is related to whether or not they get high, medium, and low in each one of the categories. In other words, if it's high, then they get 3 points. If it's medium, they get 2. If they get low, then it's 1 in that block instead of 333. But yeah, the highest possible is 9. Now, I think we have to step back one more time. Your 0 to 1, 2 to 3, 4 to 5 relates to the middle feasibility category, where you have 5 items. When you have only 3, like in category where you have, which is, what's the last category? Oh, round 2 scoring.
Yeah.
In other words, they only have 3 possible points. So if they get 3, they have a high, which then relates to 3 at the end. If they only have 2 that are in the right category, then they get a medium, which only relates to 2 points. So you got a little bit of different breakdown for both the top category and the bottom category. The rating you show there matches perfectly for feasibility. You follow what I'm saying?
Right. And I think even those, like the first section and the second, even though there isn't 3 questions, I think we're looking at positives. So
yeah, and so you had a possibility of 4 there total,
right?
And then a 4 would be a high, but and I'll break down what we put in there was 0 to 1 was low, 2 to 3 was medium, and then 4 was high. That was what we had written down when we were rating. So we do have a little bit of difference. It's not all 0 to 1, 2 to 3, and 4 to 5.
Okay.
Each category is a little different because of 4 questions in the first one to be answered, 5 in the third one, and 3 in the second one, and 3 in the third one. So,
okay.
But if anybody has any questions, we'll kind of work through it as we go. But in the end, high, medium, and low relates to either 1, 2, or 3 points in that final block that you're showing 3s in. And I hope I didn't confuse everybody.
No, it's exactly how we talked about it.
Right.
Okay. Good.
Now, what you have saying adding 1 point to the score. I'm not sure, and Keith helped me on this. I'm not sure that's how we had discussed that. I thought we had said that if it was multi-jurisdictional, it would move them from up a category from medium to high or from low to medium. Am I thinking right there?
Okay.
Yes, that's what we said.
That's
Okay,
what I
so
thought.
that would just move it in the next category.
Moves it
Yes,
to
one-
the higher category.
Yep.
Correct. Yeah. All right,
Okay.
that's the things I see a little different than you present. And if anybody else has any comments, we'll open it up now for any comments on the rating.
Yeah, okay, so if it's multi-jurisdictional benefit, we just move it up. in
Move it up
the
a
rating,
category, that's
not a
correct.
point. Okay,
Then the low, they go to medium, and then medium, they go to high.
got it.
All right. So how do you want to do this, Celia? Do we just start with the first one, which is what, 1084 that you sent us to review, or 1082?
Yeah, I just did in kind of sequence order. Now I don't know if anyone's scored these, but beforehand or, yeah, if y'all want to look at them now and see how it compares.
And I'm off, but I don't see I have 1082 in the first one. It's 1084.
Do y'all have 1082? Did I send?
I have it.
I have it.
Oh, well, then I might have just missed it. That's fine. We can go ahead and do it. Go ahead.
I have it down as a medium.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Does everybody agree with that? I mean, I don't think we need to go through the whole score, and I hope everybody took a minute to spend some time. Unless y'all want to go through it. I mean, maybe we can go through the first one. So the answers you're looking for all positive would be a yes, no, yes in the three main questions, 2, 3, and 4. So that means in this case, they've got 2. They got a 0 in the areas affected and not available, so you can't get it to the 4th point there. So that generally falls in 2 points, right? And
Yes,
so
medium.
that's
Yeah.
medium. 2 to
Yep.
3 is medium.
Mhm.
All right, so that's how that one would be scored. Then you go to feasibility and you want it all no's. You got 1 yes, so that's 4 out of 5. So that 4 to 5 is high, so that's a high category.
Yes,
And then the last one is we're looking for all positives, and well, we're looking for a yes, a no, and a yes. Yes, a no, and a yes. So we have 2 out of
Actually,
3.
we're looking for all yeses.
Yes. Oh,
All
yes.
yeses.
Oh,
Yes.
yes, yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay,
That's okay.
no problem. All right,
So I made it a low.
I made it a low. Okay.
So 6 medium.
6 out of 9.
Gotcha. All right. So we got that one in the medium category. We'll leave it there until we go back and take a look at multi-jurisdictional. I think we ought to go through and rate, and then we'll take the mediums and the lows and look at them.
Okay.
All right.
Just move on to the next one.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
You good?
okay.
If everybody's good, 1084. Now I got that one.
Yeah, that's in the old, so I don't know, sorry about that. We
It
gotta
doesn't matter.
revision.
No, it's fine. I probably just missed it some kind of way.
Okay, I printed out an old one too, so I didn't have that one, but I have it electronically. Okay, here we go.
I have it as a high.
I also have it as a high.
I do too. Anybody disagree with that? Let's do it like that. Is everybody good with the high? All right. So we got us a high. In the 80s.
Any questions about that one?
I think we're good. Gave it a high. It's ready to go.
Okay,
In 85. Detention bond.
I have it as a high.
Yes.
I do too. Anybody have any difference?
and there's a,
We'll give it a high rating. All right.
okay, there's also a letter. I don't know if you had a chance to review from the mayor, Scott, to just, comments or that That's in your agenda packet as well. Okay. And they provided maps as well. Mhm.
I didn't know that. How many people lived in Scott?
Hey now. It's booming. Okay. Other maps, okay. Oh, apologize. Okay, I might have duplicated the letter. Okay, 1089.
I have a high for that one.
I have a high also. Anybody disagree with the high? So let me ask you this, Keith, in dealing with that first category where they say one area affected, what points did you give that top category?
I gave it 4.
Gave it a
That's
4.
why it's, yeah, because if there's a number in there, we didn't come up with a
That's right.
specific number.
That's what we had said. So that's kind of
Yes.
why I brought it up. I wanted
Yeah.
to agree that as long as it's affecting at least one or more, that it was considered good. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why I asked the question.
Okay.
Because it's saying areas, it could be 1,000 people in those areas. 'Cause
Right.
It doesn't really say people or houses, it just says areas.
Those areas.
Yeah, he could say it's just one big area.
Okay. All right. So that just wanted everybody to understand that because we really hadn't discussed that particular item. Okay.
And 2, we can go after, maybe we go through this rating. If you want, I'll pull up the app that I sent that Alicia created. And so that has like the original kind of information as population per project, if it's verified or not verified. So it's a very good dashboard and we can look at that as well.
So would we look at that for the ones that are going to end up medium so we can kind of evaluate them?
Yeah, absolutely.
That would maybe fit that, that way we can see what she's got and at the same time accomplish our goal.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. In 91,
I have it as high.
Me too.
anybody disagree? Let's see, Kelia. What I was actually trying to do is just so we give it a name. That's Bayou Perrite Drainage
So,
Improvement,
yes.
City of Marksville.
Yeah, Bayou Pierrette Drainage.
Yeah,
Improvement.
you're right. Okay,
Correct.
just thought we'd make sure we got the name and everything out with the group. All right,
Absolutely.
yeah, I think we can move on.
Oh, okay. And so I think he's in the call, Mr. Lonnie DeFore, that, so this is on behalf, the city of Marksville did submit this, but this is on behalf of they have the Bayou Pierrette Task Force. And so and this might be something, we'll include to LWI, that the request was 15 million, but there is a way to still make it effective for 10 million as well. So that was the comments, and that's in your agenda packet, and we can include that to the state.
Yeah. Yeah, because it may come down to that's one that's left and 10 will do it and that's what they got left. Maybe they can get approved. I don't know how they're gonna do it.
I know, exactly. I know the
Yeah.
process as well.
Sure.
Okay, great. So let's go into project 1104.
Got a medium on that one.
I have a medium also. Anybody have any different? All right, hearing none, we'll rate it a medium, so we'll look back at it in relation to what the jurisdictional once we get through with all of the ratings.
Okay.
So Kelia, while we're moving to the next, and one of the other questions I had in your Excel sheet you sent,
Yes.
you showed all the ratings for the 3 different categories, but we don't have a final rating on that Excel sheet. Is that something we need to add?
So there's no overall rating for the project.
Okay.
Each project has,
state.
yeah,
Okay,
just wanted 3, I guess, 3 separate categories are rated for each project.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay,
And I guess it confuses me because I always think we need an overall score, but that's not how they're
that's not what they're asking for.
correct.
We're doing it to kind of get ourselves there to be comfortable, but we don't have to do it that way. Okay,
Correct.
they're just looking for each category, medium or low or high. Okay,
Yes.
good deal. Yes, St. Martin wastewater flood proofing.
I have it as a high.
I also have it as a high.
I got it as a high also. Just barely made it, but it made it.
Yep.
Okay. $11.27.
I have it as a medium.
City of Alexandria. Where you at, Matt?
I'm here. I'm taking mad notes.
All right. What we got on that one?
I have a medium.
I do too. And you can see why in the categories where you've got some differentials for the positives we're looking for in each of the categories. And that's why it fell right at, I got a 6 when I ran through it. So
Yeah, that's what I got.
it's just on the edge. So we'll look at multi-jurisdictional, Matt, and see if it would help bring it back to the high on our recommendation.
Appreciate that.
But you see now that, let's talk about that. How are we gonna show that to the state, Killian? Because you got the mediums, in this case, you got all 3 mediums in each category is what I got, and that's what you would probably plug in on the Excel sheet. So how are we gonna have something to say that we reconsidered the medium and are asking for a high consideration based on multi-jurisdictional regional consideration?
I can submit that. That's if y'all want to explain our process. I can confirm, but I don't think they asked for a process. They just wanted a consistent consensus from each, region, rating each project in those categories as low, medium, or high.
So that being the case, then we just have to up the category to high across the board on the one that we move because of jurisdictional.
Correct.
Okay.
I think that's how I would understand it, if that's how y'all understand it.
Well, yeah, I want to make sure everybody is, the members are in agreement with this. That's why I'm having this discussion. So I'm looking for any input from the members as to how we represent it on this final Excel sheet that I'm sure Kelly will send in, showing how we have everybody rated. So even if it's got this, let's just use this one as an example, it's got, say, 3 mediums. If we're gonna move it to high, then we move it all 3 categories to high, to where it's in the high category across the board. Is that are we in agreement with that? Any comments?
Celia, Kathleen, I might just note that, that I think it would be helpful to explain beyond what you hand in, any special categorization or process you used. It would just help with minimal words, but to put your projects in clearer perspective for the state to review.
Okay, thank you, Kathleen. I was going to confirm with you, so I'm glad you're here. So yeah, we could, I'm gonna, once we read everything, put it together, explain the process, and you'll have time to comment. This is due August 31st to the steering committee, and they are Acadiana Watershed District, so they will vote on it, and then we could submit all that to the state. But I will have that for you guys, once we rate everything, and I can write out the process. And again, if any discrepancies, you can comment back and let me know. But maybe I think that makes sense. I guess that'd be helpful so the state can see your reasoning on how you rated each project.
So let me make sure I know how we're gonna do it. I don't know, it's still clear as mud to me right now. I hear your comments on the state end. I hear what you're saying, Celia. But to be consistent, I'm looking at the Excel sheet you sent out where you have either 3 highs, or you got 3 mediums across on all of them. So what we're saying is on this particular category, and we can tell the state what we did, but in our rating, we're at medium now, but when we're gonna put it on this Excel sheet to go to the state, if we decide it's multi-jurisdictional and deserves high, we're gonna show high across all 3 of the categories, the mitigation, of feasibility, and the round 2 scoring.
Yeah, I guess, what do y'all think? We should have,
Well, that's why I'm bringing this up. I want to make sure everybody's comfortable when we make that shift on those that we're gonna do, which we've already done some. We got to represent it to the state in this Excel sheet. The only way you're gonna get the high is probably show all 3 categories at high. But do we put a note in those ones that we brought up that we move them to the high category based on multi-jurisdictional? In other words, they have, trying to think of how we capture that, maybe.
Instead of having 3, you would have a 4th. You know how we have the regional mitigation, feasibility, LWI, and then multi-jurisdictional. That way it was another category to add that extra point to bring them back to high.
Yeah, but the state's not gonna be worried about our point system, right?
Right.
Am I right on that? When I
But
make
if
that
you give,
statement?
if you give them a high across the board on each section, isn't it unfair to the ones, like if we scored high or you scored high, you still have multi-jurisdictional, but you can't move up a high to a high +1.
I hear you. That's why I'm having this discussion, because as I looked at it and I'm not, maybe shouldn't have brought this up till we finished the ratings, but that's one of the things that bothered me this morning. I was trying to figure out how do we represent this evaluation and be fair both parties, but they're gonna just, it sounds like you, they're gonna just look at these 3 ratings in the 3 categories, right? That's all they're gonna be looking for. Am I right? Okay, so we got to figure out how to relate it back to those 3 categories. If we feel that we're bringing it up to high because of multi-jurisdictional, they don't really, in a sense, we can make notes saying that's what we did, but they don't, that's not for them to decide. It's for us to decide how we got to high for these projects. And so I think it's like I said from the start, and Keith agreed with me, we agreed that if it had multi-jurisdiction, it was in medium, we'd move it to high, period. So then if you got to move to all 3 categories to high to be. Now I hear you, Chester, what you're saying in relation to fairness. So that's why this discussion, I'm open to comments. I'm open to ideas that so we all agree how to handle this. So let's think about it a little more. We're not there yet. Let's keep moving on the projects. Let's keep doing our ratings, and then we'll come back to that at the end, and when we look back into the mediums, and then we'll make that decision. How's that?
sounds good.
1101.
I have a high.
That's the drainage improvement voice. Rapids Parish gravity drainage number 2. Okay. All right, I have a high. Anybody have any different? All right, so we can go with that rating. All right. Next project, 1113, is that right? Yeah, 1113. That's town of Church Point, Evian Main Street Detention Pond.
I got it as a medium.
I got it as a medium. Everybody good with that? All right. Next one up. 1132.
Okay, and this one, if you read the email, I think, you know, they need to say revise the answers, but I think there was some discrepancy in the rows when they submitted it. So I just wanted us to reevaluate this project. So everything should be correct as is.
I have it as a medium.
I do too.
I do too.
Right? Next one up, 11:59, St. Martinville.
Have it
Olive
as a high.
Oak, lateral outfall.
Yes, sir.
I have a high also. Kelia, are you checking Jessica's list? Did you have them to make sure she didn't have something different?
No, I had it at the time.
That's all right. That's okay. That's
I
good.
hope-
I think we're fine. Yeah.
I will, we can go back though, or I
But
will.
it's the same procedure when she was with us, so we should be fine. All right.
Okay, these are the two I received this morning.
I have a high on that one.
I do too.
Yes, sir.
That's the temporary ag field flood storage out of Jeb Davis. All right. And 1189 prairie restoration out of Jeb Davis. I have a high on that.
Yes.
Okay. So how many do we have that we did not get the information on? Just one or two, huh?
So,
We don't have the Coshada tribe. I think I'm saying
correct. Sorry.
1174. How about King Bayou Pump Station, Cameron?
Yeah, so I didn't receive anything from them,
Okay,
so
okay.
we would have like two
Two,
projects left.
Okay. So Kia, I would think we'll go ahead and keep moving on because we got a few more things to do, but
Right.
as a group, I would hope we could agree that if Kelia gets that information before we have to submit, that she could follow our protocol and get to the right answer for those two. That's what I would like to see us give her the authority to do, even if it's just pass us an email for a review, quick review by the members, and we kind of move on. If we don't want to leave them behind if they provide it here at the last minute.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something, again, I'll share that with you via email, and something we can just maybe do it that way.
Well, yeah, you could rate it, send it to us, say, do y'all approve? Each member look at it and send back their vote, and I think it would be simplified. Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right. So now we got to go back to the medium ones.
Yes, and then I can pull up, let me stop this, let's see. Sorry, 1 second. I'm gonna pull up the app.
Okay.
Can everybody see the map application?
Yes.
Okay.
So 1104 is our first medium. Am I seeing that right?
That's what I have. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And that is,
I have 1082.
oh,
Oh.
1082. That's the one that I didn't have. That was a medium.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Glen
Okay.
Mora. All right, sorry. See, that's the one I didn't print right, so that's why I missed it. Okay.
Me too. I'm sorry. Thanks, Keith.
They keep us on track, man. All right, so 1082, then we'll end up at that.
Yeah, because it's a verified one.
That's correct, yeah.
Town of Glenmora.
And obviously that meets the more than 51% LMI. That the orange part is the LMI. Now, let's see. So on the right, I have we can maybe look at multi-jurisdiction. Let's see.
Pretty small project. On some Bottom Creek.
Hmm. I don't know if I see anything if it's benefiting other, okay.
Town of Glenmora.
So they're the project entity, yeah, let's see.
Yeah, they own it. Okay, that's just
Where do most of the project benefits occur?
Rapides Parish.
Yeah.
Is it actually in the town? That's what I can't tell. There's Glenmora.
I guess it's. No, I guess it wouldn't be, right?
No, I think it is, because look at just your
Oh, it's
street
small.
that show up in there, so I think it's catching the backside of Glenmora is what I see. Yeah. But it's not multi-parish. It in a sense could be multi-jurisdictional, that it's in catching the town of Glenmora and it's in Rapides Parish. I guess now we as members need to discuss again what we're judging as multi-jurisdictional. I would open that up for comments. Make sure we all stay on the same page. If we're dealing with a town and a parish, is that multi-jurisdiction?
Yes, my question would be, is there any population in that rural part?
Probably not much, because it looks like it's right on the creek. And so it's
Yeah.
probably pretty close to a flood zone, if I had to guess. So it looks like just in that lower right-hand side is where they catches some of the town, and you can see the streets.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's in the parish, but it's really not covering any housing.
Yeah, just Glenmora's housing.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, Earl, is it okay if I jump in for just a sec?
Yes, absolutely, Matt.
Look, tell me what's appropriate and what's not here. My intent was just to try to get some information on where we were with all the projects, how you guys were ranking them.
So,
But for the ones that are in Rapides, I can give you some information, but as a board member or commissioner, whatever you can call it, I don't know if I'm supposed to say anything. So I can tell you if there are addresses outside in that rural part, because I'm looking at a map on it, but I'm not trying to sway the vote here.
okay, so what we try to do is the ones that fall into the medium category, we're giving some consideration for multi-jurisdictional, whether it's multi-parish, multi-towns, to where we felt like some of these projects, when they reach further than, and this is a regional consideration we're giving, because it was recommended that we look at regional, methods like this. We felt it was important to give a project consideration up its rating, because it's grabbing a bigger area, multi-regional areas. That's if I can explain it to you correctly.
Yeah, I got it. I tell you, I'm just going to provide information. This is just for you guys to make a decision. Again, if you say, well,
Yeah.
that's not enough to matter, know that it's not hurting my feelings. This is just so you know.
But
The
if you
question
got some,
was,
If you got some
Outside the-
input on this one, tell us what
For
you
sure.
think that project is, where it's at, and who is it affecting?
For the area that is, or that's outside the city limits of Glenmore, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 addresses that fall within that project benefit area that are in the unincorporated parts of Glenmore.
And then how many is in incorporated?
Incorporated, it's a chunk. Because it is one of the, it's like one of the, it's one quadrant of the entire town, basically.
Yeah,
So,
but it looks
yeah.
like, look like the western quadrant.
yeah, the majority, the majority of the population benefited is obviously in the town limits, but for the question of what's outside the town limits, there's seven or so addresses right there.
So basically Glenmore benefits here.
Majority, yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So members, I think that probably gives us kind of the answer we're looking for. And y'all, it looks to me like it's not the kind of multi-jurisdictional that we think would move them up a category, but that's just my thoughts. What do y'all think?
I hate to say it, but I agree.
Well, we gotta build this, do our thing here. That's what they got us here for. So we'll leave it where it's rated unless somebody objects. Okay, all right. Medium rating. All right, next one.
So then 1104 would be the next medium.
Okay,
Hmm.
it's Woodlawn subdivision, stormwater drainage, improvement, Rapides Parish Police Jury. So Matt, you're in the right place at the right time, man. You can help us out again. Give us a little background on this one.
This is one I am pretty intimate. I have some intimate knowledge on. It's an area that we have a pretty substantial flooding on. We do have some repetitive loss, severe repetitive loss properties in that subdivision. It's honestly, it's in a hole. There are 3 drains that come out of it, but we can only access one. I can't attribute it to bad planning or implementation in years past, but that would be my guess. I can tell you, I'm gonna take a look at what they've got listed as their benefit area. And it is gonna be, so it goes in and out of the corporate limits right there on either side of the subdivisions outside. I'm sorry, I got the wrong thing pulled up. Let me make sure I got the right boundaries. Yeah, I do. So the subdivision itself is actually also split in and outside the city limits. You're gonna have benefit split. There's going to be benefit to both inside and outside the city limits. But again, it depends on when you're thinking multi-jurisdictional, are you thinking massive, large scale, a lot of acreage? Because this is not a ton of acreage, but it does, just because of the way we have cookie cutter, or I say cookie cutter cutouts for what's inside the city limits and what's out. You do have substantial benefit area in and out.
Well, I think when we started this consideration, I think our general thought, and guys, y'all agree or disagree here as we discuss it, because it is somewhat of a arbitrary type guideline we set on that. I think, of course, right off, if you got multi-parish, that becomes to us a real right away more of a regional project. If it's got 2 towns that it catches, that could be, in my mind, multi-jurisdictional. If you're dealing basically with one town within one parish, I don't know that that's where we wanted to go with moving it up a whole category. So that's my comments, and Keith and Chester, I mean, y'all chime in and let's see if we're all on the same page.
I agree with that. Every community is in a parish, so the parish is representing it. I agree with what you just said.
I agree too.
I mean, we want to give them consideration, but I guess if you work long enough, you could find a reason to move them all regional. But I think that's our guideline, Matt, to answer your question.
That's totally fair.
Yeah. Okay. So it looks like this one will stay medium based on that guideline at this time. Okay. All right. Next one up, 1127. Is that right?
That's what I have. Yes.
Okay. 1127, City of Alexandria. Boy, we were running all over your territory here, Matt. By your heart. Okay.
I'll make this one quick for you. Same criteria is going to apply.
Yeah, it looks like we're falling in the same thing. Yeah.
I
Okay,
agree.
so we'll stay consistent and we'll leave it where it's at. All right. 1113, is that the next one? What
Yeah.
I share? Okay. 1113, Abbey and Main Street Detention Pond, Town of Church Point. It's like we're falling in the same category now.
Yes,
That's south because, you know, Church Point is close to St. Landry Parish, but I don't think we're catching St. Landry in this small area. I think that's
I
still
agree.
all, I think that's all in Acadia. So it looks like this falls in the same category as all the others. All right, so looks like we're staying medium on that one based on the same consideration.
The next one I have is 1132.
Right, that's what I got too. Lake Arthur Stormwater Pump Station, Town of Lake Arthur. And I believe we're gonna be dealing with the same thing here in my mind.
I agree.
Yeah. Just we're catching a good portion of Lake Arthur there. And it's all in Jeff Davis Parish.
I agree.
Okay. An interesting, you know, we're gonna go on and finish out like this, but as we ever get to another rating thing, we might wanna, look like we got this category showing up a lot. We might want to do something in the future if we get to do more of this in relation to that type of project. Just for the big picture going forward, but we gotta keep moving on this one.
Yeah, absolutely, Earl. And we actually met with the mayor of Lake Arthur. So, you know, and just like the Rapides Parish projects and other projects that are not multi-jurisdictional, these are good, needed projects. It's just because limited with the LWI, the HUD requirements and what the state's looking at. But like you said, for the future, especially as the Acadiana Watershed District, doesn't mean these projects can never come, you know, to fruition.
Well, or if we get, I don't know, it looks like they're trying to move more money into 2 and eliminate 3, but if we would have had a third phase and we had the opportunity, we could target these maybe more, you follow, or some kind of way.
Yes.
I think we've kind of built our system here for this go around, so I think we better stay with it. If we start over, we'll never get through.
Yeah, absolutely. And just FYI, as soon as the public comment is available for those action plan amendments, that which one of them is, I think they're going to get rid of round 3. I'll let you guys know, but gotcha.
All right, I think that's it on the mediums, right?
Yes,
All right, and so I didn't do a good job of writing it down. Did we move any of them up?
no,
No,
I didn't think so, but I just want to make sure I hadn't missed something. Okay. All right. Okay. I think we got you some ratings.
Yes.
What do we have left?
Just like I said, just the 2 projects. I mean, I think we went over the process. We did the scoring. We looked at the dashboard.
Just the 2 that we didn't get the data on yet.
Correct.
All right, and so if we're in agreement, if Celia gets it, she can rate it accordingly. Check if one of them falls medium, check to see if there's multi-jurisdictional and based on the guidelines. And Celia, you feel good enough about our guidelines to where we can kind of put that in our notes to the state, what consideration we gave on that?
I do. And of
Okay.
course, I'll put this together for all of you subcommittee members, just, you know, to get your approval before sending to the state. I guess before really we have to present that to the Acadiana Watershed District now commissioners, which
Right.
will pretty much be the same members for the 16 parishes. We'll have 2 new board commissioners, Representative Kusan, Senator Hinskins, but I'll brief them as well.
So when we do this, since Matt John is on the call today, I can let him take my job and present this to him, right, Matt?
What I'll do is I'll give you a great introduction and then you got it.
No problems. Just making sure you're still awake out there. All right. Okay, well, I think we're rated. I think we're good, and I think we got some direction. We should be ready to present to the steering committee on the 31st. Waiting to see on these last two if we can get the information. And when is it due into the state? Right after that, by the 1st?
It's due on the state on August 31st.
On the same day. Well, you
Yeah.
got a few hours after we finish. That's pretty
Right,
good.
yeah, I think it's still midnight, right? Isn't that the That's fine. I know they're trying to ask all the regions the sooner the better. But just the way it worked out for us, we'll be meeting and voting on the day it's due. So
Okay,
there we go.
very good. All right, well, any miscellaneous? I don't know of any miscellaneous topics. That's our next item on the agenda. And Keely, you have anything?
I do not.
All right, is there any public comments? I haven't looked in the chat box. Let's see.
Celia? Yeah.
Yeah,
Pearl?
go ahead.
Yeah, I just checked on the watershed at .la.gov site, and the banner is up on the homepage for public comment on the Amendment 3 for the action plan.
Oh, good. Okay.
All right,
I'll send that out to everyone as well.
And I also did, Pat Forbes did say that once public comment is turned in and the action plan amendment is formally submitted to HUD, they have 45 days to give their response. HUD does.
okay. All right, any other updates, comments? Do we have no public comments on the chat box? I was just looking, I haven't seen any. Okay,
I think so. I'll just go over the chat. Okay. Yes.
anybody that's on, any questions for the members or non-members that are on that have been listening in? All right. Well,
Yeah, I think-
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move.
Oh, real quick,
Second.
I'm sorry. Thanks, John.
okay.
I'm reading the chat. I apologize.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, 1 second. Just, I think Terry Freelo had to leave and then Jacob Coco, which is fine. Thank you, John, for the comment. Very good, subcommittee members, and awesome. Okay, thank you, Lonnie, for that comment. Lonnie's with the Baipirat Task Force. Thank you, Matt. Okay, just want to acknowledge that. Appreciate it.
I see John Clark's comment and everything. Sure, great. All right, well, thank you, everybody. I think we got the motion in the second, and appreciate all the effort and look forward to our meeting on the 31st.
All right.
And
Thank you.
anything else you get, you let us know.
Okay, I will. I'll be in contact via email. So thank y'all very much.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.